Hey, what's going on? Today we are looking at the TinHIFI C2. That's right, I said C2, not T2. This is the C series from them. This one is called the C2 MechWarrior. You can see why. It has kind of this futuristic design. It's an all-metal shell. Build quality is excellent. Comfort is very good for me. I like these tips as well. Take this off. Very nice nozzle design there. Nice cable. It's a really different departure from some of the other stuff. Not that their other stuff wasn't like all metal build, like the other T series and the one they just recently did. Well, this one is kind of cool because it reminds me of the QT2 from Revo Next, which is a company I really like their stuff. Well, the shell is similar. There's different venting on the other one. The sound is completely different. That's more of like just a everyday V shape, really fun sounding. This one has a lot of personality to it. It is kind of a mild V shape, but it does have such a nice neutral tone to it. Overall, I would say some of the things are well balanced, some of the things are neutral. Bass is kind of neutral on it. The rest of it's kind of well balanced, although the treble is kind of neutral as well. We'll get into that in just a minute. So some nice cable quality here too. This is only like 29 bucks, by the way. I'll leave a link for it below. It's got this cool case. So as you can see, it's got a 10 millimeter liquid crystal polymer composite diaphragm, 103 decibels, 10 to 20 kilohertz, 32 ohms, maximum power 5 milliwatts, low distortion. Cool box artwork, simple but cool, sturdy box too. Inside you get tips, your cable, and the unit itself. There's no pouch, unfortunately, but it does have kind of this really deep design, which is very similar to what Revo Next used to have on theirs. So my Revo Next copper cable might actually work on this. Maybe I'll try that out later on. I do have the, what do I have left? I don't have the QT2 anymore, but I do have the QT3, I think, or the 5. I can't actually remember which one. I'll have to go digging through. Ultimately, though, like I said, that's more just like your average fun shape. This one has a lot of really nice things to it, and we'll get into that in just a second. Cover the specs. So build-wise, I think it's superb. Even for $100, the build on this is very good. But this is only 29 bucks. Very good tuning here. I think it's kind of an all-around kind of tuning, with some exceptions that if you're into like the heavy bass and stuff like that, this can do bass when it's presented to it, especially if you have bass boosted music like rap, hip-hop or something like that. But overall the bass is tight, it's punchy, it's got some very good speed there, good texture to it as well. It can go deep when it's called upon. It definitely is not anemic in the bass. It's just more of a technical kind of bass than more of a loud thumpy bass. Needless to say, though, the bass is still good, and it gives you enough. I mean, it's not going to make any bass heads, really go crazy, but ultimately, I think it was a good, clean bass, and I do like bass a lot. Plus, you can EQ it, like with the Hi-Fi Uno over here, and then it sounds even better. So I put down that it was very good tuned, kind of a neutral balanced signature. It would be a good all-around everyday kind of take with you. I am. Plus, it's built like a tank, so it can handle, throw and go in your bag. So we cover the bass. Very good control to the bass. Very good texture, and it's fast and punchy. It's got some really good speed there. Both sub and mid bass. Very good mids. The vocals, particularly, they're forward. They don't get harsh or shouty or anything. They got a decent amount of body to them. I wouldn't say that they're thin. I wouldn't say that they're thick. Just very clean, detailed mids with excellent vocals. And they're kind of like not in your face, but they are forward. So I did like that. Kind of really good positioning there. Getting into treble, excellent extension there. It's open and airy. There is some sparkle there. It doesn't go like overextended, and I like that about that. Ultimately, soundstage is good. It's definitely accurate. Overall, I would say that this has, for the price, very good technicalities. Definitely has some nice detail there. There's openness. There's excellent separation of the instruments. And while it may not be perfect, for $30, it's pretty darn good. Build quality, like I said, good. Comfort for me is good. There are some sharp edges. I don't know if it's going to affect anybody, but it is more rounded toward the back, but there are some edges here. So I don't know if everybody's ears it's going to fit. I think smaller ears, you might feel the edges just a little bit more. The cable quality is decent. It doesn't overly tangle. It's rubberized, it's sturdy. There's no kind of interference going to the headphones from the cable whatsoever. Your tips are these kind of tips right here. They almost remind me of like KZ's tips, but they're a little bit more open at the top. So overall, very decent what you get and everything. I would have liked a little pouch maybe with it, but they didn't give that. I'm kind of used to that from Tin giving a case or a pouch. There's nothing I can really complain about. There's nothing I can be too picky. Maybe just a little bit, depending on your track and especially your equipment. I mean, I've got a ton of equipment that I use for this, but there are some like other things, and this isn't even like the major desktop stuff and the dongles and stuff. There may be some equipment that's like really overly like just bright or something that may force this to be a little bit harsh in the upper end. But for the most part, for me, I found that it sounded great on everything, and I tested this on everything, as I do with everything. I got everything out, and I test everything, and we go through the same track over and over again with each piece of equipment to hear how it changes the sound. Then we have a whole list of tracks that I like to do, and I'd give that, but it changes from day to day. I have like several different lists that I go through, including like my own music on FLAC and DSD. Ultimately, they sounded good. Ultimately, I would recommend these for people. This may not be my most favorite tin that's out there, but it's definitely something that I do like, and I definitely could recommend this. I can see a lot of people liking this. So ultimately, yeah, I'm gonna say a yes with these. For people that like this type of sound signature and everything, definitely is very good for $29. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. All right, I'll let you go now. I see that my computer is ready to update because it always does that inconveniently. Thank you so much for watching, and be safe, and I will see you somewhere out on the internet or the next review. Thank you. Bye-bye.